When I got home and pulled back the covers, I found 7 used condoms scattered across the bedsheet. At the bedside, my husband Ethan Hart gave an awkward laugh. If I told you I used these while masturbating, would you believe me? Suddenly, the closet door opened, and a woman tumbled out, falling to the floor. She wore only Ethan's white dress shirt, her body covered in dark red kiss marks. She gave an awkward laugh, too. Aria, if I told you I was here to clean, would you believe me? I also gave an awkward laugh, though my face was deathly pale. And if I said I don't believe you, Aria POV. When I returned to our marital home, Sophia was already asleep in the master bedroom. My master bedroom with Ethan. She was wearing my nightgown and my slippers. The bedside lamp was dim to her liking. Ethan stood at the bathroom door, a warm towel in his hands, ready to give it to her. This was the same apartment where Ethan had once pressed the keys into my palm. Now you have a place that's yours, he said. Now, he let another woman lie in my bed, then turned to me and said, "Sleep in the guest room tonight." I stood in the doorway, still holding work materials I'd just brought back from out of town. A pair of women's shoes sat by the entrance. In the shoe cabinet, my shoes had been pushed to the very edge. A shawl that wasn't mine draped over the living room sofa. I took it all in as I walked through, finally seeing Sophia sitting on the bed's edge, adjusting the hem of the nightgown as if making sure I could clearly see whose things these were. Aria, don't misunderstand. Sophia spoke first, her voice so soft it seemed she'd suffered some great injustice. I really didn't dare sleep alone tonight. Ethan was worried something might happen to me, so he let me rest here first. Yet as she spoke, she made no move to get up from the bed. I looked at Ethan. Ethan didn't explain the nightgown or the slippers. He placed the warm towel on the nightstand, his brow slightly furrowed. Sophia's not doing well tonight. She's familiar with the master bedroom lamp, so sleeping here will help her feel more secure. I said nothing. Ethan continued. Years ago, because of me, she got trapped in an old building during a power outage for an entire night. You know she's afraid of the dark and being alone. Tonight's situation is special, so just sleep in the guest room for one night. Sophia lowered her head, fingers gripping the corner of the comforter. Maybe I should just leave. I'm afraid Aria won't be happy. She said she'd leave, but her body leaned against the bed, her feet showing no sign of wanting to remove the slippers. Ethan immediately looked at me. I knew that look well. This past month, whenever Sophia said she was scared, he'd look at me exactly like this. I pulled my materials closer to my chest and nodded. Understood. Ethan actually froze. He seemed to have prepared many words, ready to explain how pitiful Sophia was, ready to say he was just temporarily taking care of her, ready to tell me not to overthink it. But I didn't ask. I turned and went to the guest room. The guest room hadn't been occupied in a long time. The closet only held spare bedding, the window frame hadn't been fixed, and it was cold when the night wind seeped through. I placed my materials on the nightstand and bent down to take out the comforter from the closet. The first time I moved into this apartment, Ethan had also given me the master bedroom. Back then, I just severed ties with my family and stood downstairs with my luggage, not even daring to go up in the elevator. Ethan pressed the house keys into my hand and said, "Don't stand outside waiting for permission anymore. You have a place here, too." That night, he slept on the couch. From that day on, I started treating this place as home. Now the master bedroom door was closed. Inside, I could hear Ethan's lowered voice coaxing Sophia. "Don't be afraid, I'm here." The lamp's already brighter. "Sleep now, I won't leave." I closed the guest room door too. In the middle of the night, Sophia called for Ethan again from the master bedroom. She complained the bedside lamp was too dim, that the curtain gaps looked like dark shadows seeping in from the old building, that the pillow was too high and made her feel she couldn't breathe. Ethan responded to her. The sound of footsteps in the hallway kept reaching my ears. I lay in the guest room, waves of pain washing through my stomach. I pulled out my pill box and swallowed painkillers with half a glass of cold water. The tablet stuck in my throat, the bitter taste taking a long time to go down. Before long, someone knocked twice on the guest room door. Aria. Ethan stood outside. Are you asleep? I leaned against the headboard, a layer of cold sweat on my forehead. I didn't open the door, only said, I'm asleep. Silence outside for a few seconds. Ethan's voice lowered. Are you upset? From the master bedroom, Sophia called softly again. Ethan. Ethan immediately turned back. I heard his footsteps fade away. He finally just tossed out one sentence through the door. Get some rest. I only fell asleep as dawn approached. When I woke again, the master bedroom door was half open. Sophia still slept inside while Ethan sat at the bedside looking at his phone, warm water and medicine beside him. Sophia turned over and Ethan immediately put down his phone, leaning in to ask where she felt uncomfortable. I didn't go in. I gathered my materials in the living room when my phone suddenly lit up. The person in charge of the Old Town project sent a confirmation email asking if I was certain about accepting the 2-year old residence restoration project. The early phase required closed access to the site, with long-term stationing afterward, making frequent returns to my current city impossible. I looked at it for a long time. In the master bedroom, Sophia's voice was hoarse. Ethan, am I causing you trouble again? Ethan said, no, don't overthink it. I lowered my head and opened the reply box. I typed only one sentence. Confirmed. After sending the message, I put the project materials in my bag, pressing my ID documents at the very bottom. The sound of the zipper closing was soft. Neither of the two people in the master bedroom looked back. Aria POV. As a child, the phrase I feared most was, "This isn't your home." I'd lived in other people's smallest rooms and in rental units where the locks changed once a year. Later in the dorms, I still didn't dare fill the space with my belongings. I feared I'd have to leave soon. I was always the one who needed something from others. I couldn't even decide where to put my own cup. Then Ethan gave me keys. He let me have the master bedroom and cleared out half the walk-in closet. The lamp in the living room was my choice. The spot I usually sat at the dining table was one Ethan had personally made space for. He'd complain I was troublesome, yet always let people arrange things my way. I decorated this apartment bit by bit to make it feel like home. I thought I'd finally never be pushed outside again. In the first month after Sophia returned, Ethan said she was only staying temporarily for a few days. Sophia had just ended a failed relationship and had the trauma from that old building power outage years ago. Whenever her emotions broke down, she'd call Ethan. That incident happened when she and Ethan were still together. Ethan had canceled on her last minute, and Sophia waited for him alone. Later, she got trapped in that old building all night. All the lights went out, the stairwell door wouldn't open, and she cried until dawn before anyone found her. Since then, she'd been afraid of the dark, afraid of enclosed spaces, and afraid of Ethan not answering her calls. Every time she brought up these things, Ethan would fall silent. Initially, I agreed to let her move in. I thought she'd only stay a few days, but I discovered her belongings were invading my space. The next morning at breakfast, Sophia still wore my nightgown as she sat at the dining table. She picked up the milk, took only one sip, then put it down. Ethan, the pillow in the master bedroom was too hard last night. It made my neck hurt, and that scent in the bathroom isn't nice. It always reminds me of the old building. Ethan's movements paused as he looked at me. I put down my fork. What would you like to change? Sophia froze, then smiled. Aria, thank you for understanding. Can I put my usual things in the master bathroom first? Also, can I put my own clothes in the master bedroom closet? It's inconvenient fetching clothes every day. Could you clear out some space for me? Ethan frowned. Sophia, you're only staying temporarily. Sophia's eyes immediately reddened. She lowered her head, gripping her spoon, her voice trembling. I know. I shouldn't have brought this up. Last night, every time I closed my eyes, I was back in that old building. I just want to sleep soundly. After speaking, she stood up to leave. I'll move out today. It's all my fault for causing you both trouble. The chair made a soft sound as she pushed it back. Ethan's expression changed. No one's asking you to move. Sophia stopped, tears hanging at the corners of her eyes. Ethan looked at me. Clear out some of the less used items in the closet and make a temporary spot for her. I nodded. Okay. This time Ethan looked at me again. His gaze held both testing and discomfort. After all, in the past, if I asked even one extra question about Sophia, he'd think me petty. Now that I wasn't asking anything, he seemed almost stuck instead. I went back to the walk-in closet and took down my clothes from the master bedroom area. I didn't just take old clothes. The clothes I'd acquired over these years with Ethan, I packed them all in boxes too. At the very back of the closet was a set of loungewear Ethan had bought me. That year I had a fever, but still wanted to go to the office. Ethan pressed me back into bed, had his assistant send the files home, and stayed with me half the day. Later he noticed the cuffs on my pajamas were frayed. He said nothing, but the next day had new loungewear delivered. Back then, I truly believed Ethan cared about me. Downstairs, Sophia, wearing my nightgown, was asking the housekeeper which shelf in the master bathroom she could use for her things. I carefully folded that loungewear set and placed it at the very bottom of the box. I didn't cry or throw anything. I just pushed the box into a corner of the guest room. When Ethan came in and saw the box by the wall, his steps paused. Why did you pack away so many clothes? I was organizing project materials and didn't look up. The master bedroom needs more space, so I packed them all away. If you have an issue with Sophia moving in, you can say so directly. I looked up at him. Ethan frowned at my gaze, his tone hardening. Her situation is special. You know full well she ended up like this because of me. Don't read too much into it. I know. I put the project contract in a document folder. She's been through trauma. She should have better accommodations. Ethan fell silent. He seemed unwilling to have me agree with him so readily. I fastened the document folder and reminded him, Sophia's still waiting for you downstairs. After those words, Ethan's expression completely darkened. That evening, the project manager sent me a materials checklist. Starting next week, I'd head to the station location and needed to visit the Old Town site in advance. I stuffed my ID into my bag and put the project contract in the outermost pocket. I went to find an old design drawing in the master bedroom. Passing the master bedroom door, I heard Sophia inside asking, "Will Arya mind me staying here?" Ethan paused. Then he said, "She'll understand. She won't make a fuss over something like this." I stood outside the door, my hands still on the doorknob.